Our guest today is best known for broadcasting from the biggest sporting events in the world. But for former gymnast Gabby Logan, it's not her only passion. She is also a campaigner for research into rare disease and sudden death. Here to share her personal reasons for getting involved, please welcome Gabby Logan. Yeah, no, that's the hardest. What do you mean? You're a gymnast. You could have pirouetted down there, Gabby.
You know, Mr. and Mrs. You've seen Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
So I went on with my husband Kenny, because that's the idea. You go on with your husband,
Yeah.
and you walk down the steps, and they did the first take, and I fell all the way down.
Oh! I've done those
Did they
steps.
keep it in?
No, but can I just say we did win?
One of those outtakes programmes somewhere.
I'm sure somebody
At some stage, yeah.
So actually, given that we were talking about proposals, did you propose to Kenny or did Kenny propose
No,
to you?
Kenny proposed to me, and I saw it coming a few weeks out because he kept saying, I can't wait till the next time we go to Scotland. I can't wait to go to Scotland. Oh, can we go to Scotland sooner than then? And it was like this kind of style. I was thinking, and then we went for this walk up the Wallace Monument. You know the Wallace Monument, which is about 300 steps. So you've lost all the oxygen anyway. You can't think about what you're about.
You can't fight.
No, and I saw this box in his pocket, and I literally, it was like sticking out of his pocket.
You didn't say, what's that in your pocket, did you?
I thought, he's excited.
That's an old
about
line.
walking up here.
All right, just please.
And he opened it up and there was just the diamond, not the actual ring, because he didn't want to get the ring wrong. And and I just burst.
brilliant.
I burst into tears and just cried for about 2 days after.
Oh, great way for covering that you knew.
Well, years later, I did mention it.
So the campaign that you're here to talk about, I was just, you supported this cause for a long time,
Well,
so about
Sparks
before
is
your
what-
twins were
Great
born.
Ormond Street are two of the charities that are really heavily embedded in this area of research, and I've been involved with Sparks and 22 years before I even met Kenny, and he was also involved in Sparks, funnily enough, as well, doing events for them. And then we both became presidents, and we've had a long association with them. And then they've started working closer with Great Ormond Street, because a lot of the research happens at Great Ormond Street. A lot of the treatments then are carried out at Great Ormond Street. So it's a natural union between those two charities. And it's not just those charities. Tomorrow is the Awareness Day for Rare Diseases, and it's global. So, but you say the word rare, and people think this is something I've never heard of. What is it?
Yeah.
We're talking all childhood cancers are classed as rare diseases, and there's lots of muscular wasting diseases that affect so many people. 1 in 20 people will know somebody who's had what's classed as a rare disease. So obviously, the amount of research you can do as young as possible means you can affect the livelihood and the lives rather of those children. So if you're muscular wasting, for example, and you can get a treatment in at 7, you might still be able to use your legs. So it's really important that those childhood diseases are attacked.
And I mean, what draws you to it from a sort of personal point of view?
Well, I didn't realise, when I first got involved, I just always felt as soon as I had any kind of voice or platform, it was important to use that. And what I didn't realise, my brother died when he was 15, I didn't realise that his death of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a heart disease, is classed as a rare disease. To me, it was a heart disease, and that's not rare, that seems... But actually, because he was a child, that was a rare disease. So the link with him is naturally there. But it wasn't the kind of sole reason at the time. But now I realise...
that lovely photo.
Oh, my gosh.
Where are you?
So I'm behind my mum, who's holding my brother Jordan. And then that's Daniel, who's the older boy. And that's my sister, who looks uncannily like a boy in that picture, actually, with that very nice page boy haircut at the back. But she's an absolute knockout beauty, so she'd hate that picture. And then that's my dad there as well. So Daniel died at 15 and of a hypertrophic cardiomyopathy.
Wasn't he playing football in the garden with your dad at the time?
He was knocking the ball about. He'd signed for Leeds United, who were the top team in the country at the time. They'd just won the league the year before.
And your dad, of course, Teddy Yoris.
He was a footballer, And
so you weren't aware he had the condition before that?
It was totally and utterly without any symptoms.
Was it something that's hereditary, or was it...?
No, it can be. A lot of families it is, and there's more than one child that ends up dying of it, or they might suddenly look at the family tree and realise, hang on a minute, Uncle so-and-so died at 19, or, and it does tend to affect boys more. It's known as sudden death syndrome as well, often, and with Daniel, we were all tested, and he was the only one in the family that carried the gene, and he was the only person, obviously, on both sides. My kids now, who are 14, will say to me sometimes, do you think you should test us? And I said, well, you can be tested, but there's no reason why you should, you should carry this gene. So, it was just the most, as you can imagine,
But if you did test them and they did have it, would there be something you could do about it before?
Yeah, it depends when you get them, because if a month before Daniel died, it would have been major panic stations, heart surgery needed, find a heart, heart transplant. 2 years before, and it could have been a case of going on to beta blockers or going on to a treatment to help his heart regulate. The thing we always say with Dan is that he was so talented and so passionate about football. If we turned around to him and said, "You'll never play football again,"
don't.
So it's one of those things that you kind of go. But he lived the most amazing, full, fantastic life, and so you have to celebrate the life that he had, I think, rather than the life that he could have had. But hopefully, with more research, those kinds of conditions will be found earlier, and there are treatments coming, and there's a lot of cross-referencing as well of different diseases.
We've got so much information at our fingertips now.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
but it's...
tamoxifen, which is a disease that's a drug that's used for breast cancer, they've found actually could be very useful for muscular wasting diseases for children. So you've done that research already on the adults, in terms of them using it. Now, if we can try it on, children with this disease, and so the money that is raised, and awareness that is raised tomorrow goes across so many areas. It's not just
so important, isn't it? That definition of rare, because you would think rare. Well, let me put my money somewhere else.
Or something you'd never heard of.
But also just the research. I mean, back to present day coronavirus. That's what they're doing. They're drastically trying to research just to try and put all the pieces together so that they can ultimately come up with a vaccine that's going to be able to combat this if it comes back. I mean, I'm just thinking of you from a sporting point of view, though, Gabby, where we are just now with coronavirus, a lot of talk about the Olympics. I mean, were you I'm going to be at the Olympics?
I'm planning to be at the Olympics, and then there's the European Football Championships, which is taking place across Europe. There are so many cities involved in that. That's happening from the beginning of June, and people don't seem to have mentioned that yet. Then they're talking about, obviously, any gathering. You think of things like the London Marathon, where you've got 50,000 people together. So, I mean, they're usually fit and healthy at the time, but you don't know who's carrying, do you? So I'm looking at... This morning I was reading an article in the paper thinking, I'm not working this year by the looks of things. I'm going to be at home. It's really worrying, isn't it? But I do feel like this morning's article seemed to be the very worst case scenarios. And I heard you chatting before, hoping that we're going to be able to contain and still enjoy an Olympic Games. You remember in 2016 there was Zika virus? Nobody wanted to go to Brazil because of Zika virus.
That's right.
2008 there was bird flu before Beijing. So we've been here before with these.
Yeah, hopefully we will cool out. Well, Gabby, listen, lovely to have you. Just to say, Rare Disease Awareness Day is tomorrow.
It is.
Just as a reminder of that.
And, thank you so much.
And I hope you don't have the summer off for all of our sake. Gabby Logan, everyone.